I'm going to do a lot of experimenting today. This is going to be fun, and I've been planning this now for quite a while. Tomorrow is the winter solstice. This is the time of year when the sun's energy is at its lowest. Is there enough sun energy to cook by using a sun oven? I've seen videos with people cooking with their sun oven when there's snow on the ground, but maybe there was snow on the ground in April. This is December. I want to see if my sun oven will cook. What I'm going to make today is pasta fagioli, but I'm going to do it a different way because, again, I'm experimenting. One thing I'm experimenting with is someone recommended this product. It's a Knorr product, Knorr. And from what I understand, this product is popular among Latinx cooks and home chefs and so forth. This is a tomato bouillon with chicken flavor. I've used some of it already in rice. It's actually pretty good. I'm going to use some of this rather than tomato paste in my pasta fagioli base, and I'm also going to use some garlic paste rather than fresh minced garlic. This could be interesting. So let's make this pasta fagioli in a sun oven. Okay, the first thing I'm running into is my original recipe called for 2 cups or 375 grams of dry beans. These are cannellini beans that you then soak for several hours, preferably overnight, in water. I have 1 pound. I started off with 1 pound of beans, 450 grams. This looks like a lot of beans. Can I get all those beans in my pot here along with my 6 to 7 cups of water, 1.4 to 1.7 liters of water, to cook everything? If not, I'm thinking I can do half of this in this pot out in the sun oven, and I'll do the other half in a pot on the stove because I want to cook all these up. So that's my challenge today. Let me see if I can get everything into one pot without this overflowing. So I'm going to put my beans in there. These, again, have been soaked overnight and then rinsed and drained. Maybe I can get them all in there. All right, and then I have to prepare some liquid. I'm going to heat the liquid. This is 4 cups. I need 6 to 7 cups. But I'm going to start off with 4 cups, heat this in the microwave so that I can dissolve my tomato base in there. So here's my water that I've been heating in the microwave. I get this up close to boiling. I'm going to add to this my 6 to 7 teaspoons of my tomato bouillon. That should dissolve quite easily in all that heat. And then I have here, this is about 1/2 to 3/4 of a large yellow onion, and you can see that I darkened that quite a bit. I caramelized that. Gonna put that in the water. And then I mentioned better than bouillon roasted garlic base. So I have here about 2 teaspoons, 2 to 3 teaspoons of this garlic base. And I'm putting that in this liquid to get everything all stirred and mixed before I put it in with the beans. And as I said, if I have the room, I'll add the extra 2 cups of water. All right. Slide this out of the way a little bit. Here are my beans. This is one of those silicone lids. They're pretty neat. I've got a bunch of them. You can even press it down and create a vacuum in there. And if you get a good seal all around the edge, see if I can do this. No, not quite. It works better with a glass bowl. You can actually lift the bowl up off the counter with that vacuum. It works so well. All right, let's put this in there. Get a little bit on the counter. Look at that, I got the room. Clean up my mess here. You can't cook without making a mess. It's required of all people who want to cook. Learn how to make a mess. So I'm going to add some more water. This is about 2.5 cups of water. So that brings it up to 6 to 7 cups, or 1.4 to 1.7 liters. And then I'm going to add some herb. Any herbs you like. I have a little herb garden outside, so that's some fresh oregano that I picked just a moment ago and then chopped up. I did check on my Sun oven. It's up to 270 degrees Fahrenheit already, which is about 132 degrees Celsius. The last thing to add to this is some freshly ground black pepper. All right, give this one more stir, and then I can put this outside in the Sun oven after I put the lid on. All right, let's start cooking. Oh, and cooking time. What I do is I watch my Sun oven. When I see the window, the glass door, start to steam up, then I know the liquid inside is simmering. And then depending upon how I control the oven, whether it's directly at the sun or a little bit off, I can control the cooking temperature inside. I don't want to boil these beans rapidly. I just want to simmer them. If you agitate them too much, they'll break up. Cooking time depends upon how long it takes to get the beans tender. I don't know. Could be an hour, could be 2 hours. What I'll do is I'll test them. Like after an hour, I'll taste. If they're not tender enough, I'll go another half an hour, test again, and so forth. That's kind of how you do it in a Sun oven. It all depends upon what you get as far as temperature, and that controls your time. The discerning person might have noticed I didn't put any pasta in there. This is pasta fagioli. Where's the pasta? It's right here. It's in a jar in my cupboard. What I do when I make this is I make the bean soup base first, and then I'll portion a lot of that, put it in the freezer. I'll have one portion thawed in the refrigerator. I'll cook up some pasta, enough for one serving, one bowl of soup, mix the two together, and then I have a bowl of pasta fagioli soup to enjoy. I love pasta fagioli in winter. Few notes worth mentioning. I just took it out of the oven. I put it in the Sun oven around 10 o'clock, and I just took it out. It's 2 o'clock, so it was in there for about 4 hours. Maybe a little too long. The beans are a little more tender than I might have wanted. I like them a little bit al dente, but it proves that it does cook. I think the cooking time was probably maybe 2.5 to 3 hours. Around 11 o'clock is when I saw the window fogging up. This is what the window looks like when it's fogged up, and this is what tells me that the liquid inside is simmering. So that's my indication of when things are actually starting to cook. So let me show you what I made, and then in the meantime I have some water heating on the stove. I'm going to cook up some pasta. I've got some ditali. There's ditali, ditalini, tubetti, tubettini. Those are little tubes. That's the typical pasta for pasta fagioli, but you could use elbow macaroni. A small macaroni would work fine. So let me show you what I made. So here it is. That's a little bit hot. There it is. And then get a spoon here. There's the cooked beans. You can see the onions in there. And I tasted this with my red handle tasting spoon. Just wanted to taste the broth to see what the broth tastes like. And I have to say, that is a very delicious broth. Even though there isn't any homemade chicken stock in there, it's just water, beans, and this stuff, this tomato bouillon with chicken flavor. It's good stuff. Okay, my pasta is cooking. When that's done, I'll spoon some of this into the pasta and then have a bowl of pasta fagioli. So there's my cooked pasta in there. I'm going to get my soup over here pretty close. And then scoop out some beans and some of that broth. Maybe a little bit more. Get some broth in there. Set that aside. Stir this up a little bit. Mix it in. You could garnish this with some chopped fresh parsley or some chopped fresh basil or some Romano or Parmesan cheese, and that's ready to taste. I'm so delighted with this for a couple of reasons. One is I love pasta fagioli. My grandpa used to make it. He passed away when I was in kindergarten, and we were very close. He made really good pasta fagioli, and this always reminds me of him. And the other reason why I'm pleased with this is because, as I mentioned at the outset, tomorrow is the winter solstice. It's the time of the year when the sun is at the weakest, and yet I had enough heat. I recorded at 12 noon. The temperature in the oven got up to 340 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 171 degrees Celsius. Plenty warm enough to cook this soup. So the Sun oven does work. I put some Parmesan cheese on this as well. That is so good. Oh my gosh, that's good. This is going to be, this product here, this is probably going to be the way that I make pasta fagioli from now on in. And I won't tell people when I can invite people in for dinner again. Now we can't because of the pandemic, but it's really late for lunch. It's way too early for dinner. But I didn't have lunch today, so I'm going to call this a late lunch. Excuse me while I go enjoy my Sun oven pasta fagioli.